Hand strength is one of the most important factors for any fighter, especially a grappler, of course, it's pretty obvious, but also for boxers, which I'm going to explain later, and for every man there is. It's a huge factor. Think about it. The first thing we usually do in Western culture when we meet somebody is to shake hand. And to shake hand has two factors. We show that our hands are empty, and we want to feel the other guy's hand. And every man knows that a good handshake, good and firm handshake, is really important, because that's the first impression of somebody and of his strength, of course. We know how impressive it is to feel a huge and strong hand. And you know that like a big biceps is one thing, but if a man got these huge paws like a bear and that huge forearms, it's impressive on a whole different level. It's like a guy with a big neck. It's a different level of impression. It's a guy that you definitely don't want to fight. And our hands are our main tools to interact with the world. So we touch things and we grab things. That's mostly what we do. So to have a good grip strength is really important. And hand and finger strength has many more factors. I'm gonna break them down for you. So the grip strength, just grip strength, is 3 factors actually. So it's a strength here. There's one tendon running through your forearms to about here, to the tip of your fingers. And there's a second tendon on your flexor digitae, on your finger flexors, running to here, one joint behind. So this is one part, this is the second, and this one as well, here, which only goes to about 90 degrees. So this one. So it's actually 3 parts which you should and can train individually as well. So the next factor is of course wrist flexion, and we get a lot more movements. So it's not just crush to grip and to flex, it's also the sideways deviation with the wrist. Your wrist need to be strong in this direction and in this direction, and of course also extension of the wrist, not just flexion, extension, and also supination and pronation, rotation of the wrist. And your fingers also need to be strong in flexion. Highly underrated. Most people do never train finger extension, and it leads to a lot of problems. So you will see many old grapplers especially whose hands are in a relaxed state like this, and it has some psychological influence, but also on your injury rate. So you need to be able to have a good finger extension, and also this movement, open and close of the fingers. So all individual movements you should, you can, you need to train them. And I use a variety of tools for it. These are the most important tools I use for hand strength, and I'm gonna break them down for you. So because I don't work with my hands, I use a lot of time specifically for hand strength. The non-fighters that have the best hand strength are usually farmers and carpenters, those kind of guys. The old man strength of an old carpenter is absolutely legendary. So there's this big misconception to only train twice or thrice a week, to always make a lot of break, but I don't believe in this. Even people who work physically, they work 8, 9, 10 hours a day and the next day as well. So I always train every day, just not to break me. So I don't go to the gym and try to crush my legs today and break my legs. I'm trying to train them. I try to be stronger. Okay, so I use about 1 hour per day only for hand strength. And the most basic tools for hand strength is just this one, a gripper or a knip-knaps as I call it. You just hold it in your hand and you just close. You can do many repetitions. So hand strength should also include maximum strength as well as strength endurance. So to do many repetitions throughout the day is one of the best and easiest way to gain and remain a big hand strength, a great strength in your hand. And as I said before, there's different aspects to closing your hands. So the most common one is you hold it like this and you just close it. And close it all the way. And just do it many times. Or you just keep it closed for as long as you can. Or you use only your fingertips or even the front part of your fingertips like this to close. Or you hold it more towards the thumb to use more of this motion and close it like this. Or you use more of your thumb like this to train the thumb. Or you can flip it like this to train this muscle between your finger, the pinching grip. So you train your pinch grip like this, like so. Or even put the thumb sideways on it and try to, I can't even close it like this. So just use my strength and try as good as I can. Fabulous tool. That's a staple in any grip strength training for every guy. So I also use the Captain of Crush, which is the best, the gold standard for grip training. I personally use a number 2. So you just hold it and you try to close it as good as you can. So it's about closing it. Highly recommended. Start maybe with the number 1, depending on how strong you are. Tell me if you also can close the number 2. Can you see it? Or even a bigger one than me. Fabulous. Maximum grip strength. I got different ones, different grippers that are more for dexterity in the fingers. So instead of just strength and strength endurance, also train your dexterity, the ability to move. And I love this tool here. You probably know it, but this one is a special one that you can just wind up like so. And it goes. This one is mostly for the brachioradialis, so this muscle here, and for wrist stability. And as I mentioned before, hand strength is not just for grapplers, it's for everybody, and it also has a high influence on striking arts, because when you strike, your fist needs to be as closed as possible. So the better I can close my fist, the less this one gives, and the less give I have here, the harder the punch is. And the same is true for wrist stability. So the stronger my forearm is, the more stable my wrist is, the directer I can transmit the force onto the target without hurting myself. And if my wrist wobbles, energy gets lost. So the more stable my wrist is, the harder the punch is. If you've ever looked at Bruce Lee's forearms, it's insane. They're about as like this, bigger than his upper arms. It's crazy, and it's for a reason. So that's why one of the next tools I use is this one for wrist extension and for wrist flexion. And I use it in different positions, so like this, and also supinated like this, or all the way pronated like this, and in different elbow positions. Try it out. It's different depending on the position and on the pretension of your muscles. Next, I also love this tool here. Get it? Which you just take out and put over your fingers to train your finger extension. Very nice. Always use finger extension. Prevents golfer's arm syndrome as well. And also from Captain of Crush I got these tools here. It's just rubber bands in different colors, and every color has a specific strength level. Just play with them. Just take many hours, many minutes, a lot of time per day. And one of my personal favorite tools is this hammer constructed. So you just take a normal and you just put one weight thing on the side and you just grab it, and with the hammer you can use the rotation, supination and pronation, and of course also deviation, and even the other side. And I like to use fat grips on it, so because the bigger the grip, the more difficult it is. The bigger the handle, it's more difficult to move. So use this one, you can construct it at home. And I also like to train with the kettlebell, just like so. Let it down, move it up, down, up, for strength in your wrist motion. Great tool. I'd also use some lesser known tools like this one here, the web. It's just rubber on a circle and it's fabulous. So you can do this grip here, but it's one of the very few tools where you can actually, let me see it, use this motion to close your fingers and open them against resistance and to rotate. So it's an absolutely amazing and very versatile tool. Anybody should have it. And I'd like to add this one here. So it's just some kind of jello with resistance. This one is specifically made for therapy and it works like a charm. It's so good for hand therapy, to relax hands, and it offers some very odd resistance. Very good way to train your fingers. There's many others, those are the most important ones. And if you're serious about grip strength, also buy this thing here. It's fabulous. It measures your grip strength digitally. Goes up to 190 pounds, 90 kilograms. Should be enough for everybody. I'm right now at about 78 kilograms on my left and 76 on my right hand. So you can check if you're balanced with your strength, and you can also check if you, from one day to the other, lost a lot of strength and are probably in overtraining. So that's my short video about grip strength. Train your grip every day. Forearm is very difficult to train, takes a lot of time, but usually it's one of the 3 muscle groups that I personally punish every day, train really hard every day, even if I said I didn't. Forearm, neck, and abs. Those are also, I think, the most undertrained muscles in most people, and the ones that define a fighter the most. Those are the ones where fighters have the biggest advantage. Fighters have strong hands, fighters have good abs, fighters have a good neck. So soon I'm gonna make a video on neck. Stay tuned. In 2 days the neck video will come out, so that's Friday evening video on the neck. Stay tuned. Drop a comment about wrist training if you liked the video and what you personally do for wrist training. I'm very interested to hear. And also think about to hit the like button and subscribe and share the video to your friends. Thanks for watching and have a good training.